The 1970s was a messy, intensely creative decade for film. As the old studio system collapsed, a generation of filmmakers seized control, working with a raw, tactile independence that defines the new Hollywood era. Directors like Francis Ford Coppola were given total authority over their projects. They used that freedom to build gritty, realistic stories that still dictate the visual language of cinema today. But here is the catch. Sitting down to watch one of these revered films is an investment. You are committing anywhere from 2 to 3.5 hours of your focused leisure time, plus a significant amount of emotional energy. And the entries in this era are not interchangeable. This single 10-year stretch contains everything from the first high-concept summer hits to incredibly disturbing, slow-burn character studies that stay with you long after the credits roll. This chart maps out exactly how massive that variance is.
On the horizontal axis, we have pacing, ranging from fast to slow. On the vertical axis, we plot the tone, going from uplifting at the top to entirely cynical at the bottom. If you pick a movie just because it has a classic reputation without checking how it fits your current mood, you are going to experience cinematic fatigue. To get a return on your time, you need to match the film to your specific viewer profile. This table breaks down 3 viewer profiles, starting with the mainstream streamer. If you need high entertainment value and a fast pace, you land here. Your outcome is a reliable emotional payoff, watching protagonists overcome impossible odds for triumphant moments. The clearest example is Rocky. Sylvester Stallone wrote the script in just 3 days while nearly broke, and it translates to the screen as a highly accessible, working-class quest for self-respect. Thrillers in this category relied on practical fixes for technical disasters. When his mechanical shark failed to function, Spielberg began filming from the creature's perspective, proving that what the audience doesn't see is often more terrifying. These fast-paced movies were massive risks. George Lucas was so certain Star Wars would fail that he went on vacation to Hawaii instead of attending the premiere, yet it defied all box office expectations. The trade-off here is straightforward. By prioritizing fast-paced, uplifting stories, you miss out on the deeply complex, morally gray character studies that define the more experimental side of the era. Next on our matrix is the Deep Dive Optimizer. Your required input is patience for runtime stretching past 3 hours. The outcome is world-building so precise, it's now standard film school curriculum, a level of storytelling requiring years of meticulous production. This patient approach gave actors room to build completely lived-in characters. When Marlon Brando played Don Corleone, he famously held a stray studio cat during the opening scene, letting it purr so loudly they had to re-record his dialogue. To get these results, you also have to tolerate messy narrative structures born from chaotic productions. Apocalypse Now survived through severe weather, destroying sets and a leading man having a heart attack mid-shoot, and that visceral tension bleeds directly into the final film. Despite those massive production headaches, these sprawling epics dominated the industry. The establishment fully embraced them, handing out Best Picture awards to films that refuse to rush their storytelling. The trade-off? These movies demand your absolute attention. If you try to watch these while checking your phone, you will lose the plot entirely. They offer a brilliant experience, but they are not designed for casual viewing. Finally, we have the psychological explorer. To fit this profile, you need to sit comfortably with cynical narratives driven almost entirely by flawed antiheroes. The real-world backdrop for these films was a disillusioned society. Directors pushed back against the glossy studio aesthetic, capturing the grimy, unpolished reality of the streets around them. You will see intense, method-driven performances. When Martin Scorsese directed Taxi Driver, the script simply said the main character looks in a mirror. Robert De Niro improvised the entire "You Talking to Me" monologue, creating a defining moment in film history. Actors like Jack Nicholson built their careers in this space, bringing a trademark rebellious energy to characters who actively fought against oppressive societal systems and mental institutions. This cynicism wasn't limited to street crime. Actresses like Faye Dunaway brought a terrifyingly sophisticated, ambitious energy to films like Network, exposing the raw corporate greed within broadcast media. The trade-off for the psychological explorer is steep. Diving into these character studies is emotionally taxing. If you just want a bit of light escapism after a long day, these films will actively alienate you. Whether you love or hate a 1970s film depends entirely on how well you align your expectations with the specific intent of the director. This decision tree maps out your best choice for tonight based on your immediate emotional goal. If you are short on time and want a reliable cinematic dopamine hit, take the pure entertainment branch. Jaws and Rocky will give you massive, satisfying payoffs. If you want to study the peak of American screenwriting without committing 3 hours to a mafia epic, select the Study the Craft branch. Choose Chinatown or Network. If you are mentally prepared to engage with difficult art, take the final branch. Challenge my comfort zone. Taxi Driver and A Clockwork Orange will give you brilliant but deeply disturbing character studies. But let me be clear, if you just want to relax and turn your brain off, stay far away from that third branch. It is not for a relaxing night in. The 1970s produced a film for everyone. You just have to stop treating these movies as a single block of classics and start using them as specific tools for your exact viewing mood.